All right, so for standard form, that is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. The a is with the x squared, the b is with the x, and then the c is all by itself. If your a value is bigger than 0, which means it's positive, right? So if my a value is positive, then I have a happy face parabola, which gives me a minimum. If my a value is negative, I have a sad face parabola, which gives me a maximum. The a value is not going to change. It's still your a value. It still tells you whether or not you have a max or a min, and you still are going to use it kind of like slope. Right, so the a value doesn't change. You still use it like slope. All right, now the downside of standard form is you have to actually do some work to get the vertex. It's not just in your formula like it is for vertex form. So we're going to use this formula over here, negative b over 2a, to find the vertex. So your vertex is going to be negative b over 2a for the x, and for the y, we are going to plug in your x value to get the y. Because your x value in your vertex and your x value and the axis of symmetry are the same thing, this is also your axis of symmetry. So remember, where you fold your graph in half, you're always going to fold it along the vertex. So those x values will be the same. Any questions so far? All right, and then the y-intercept is your c value. So 0 comma c is the y. All right, so there's your chart if you ever need to refer back to how to find something when it's in standard form. All right, so example number 1. What is, for this first one, what's my a value? 2. What's my b value? None. It's not there, right? So it's 0, because the b has to be with the x. So since there is no x term here, your b value is 0. And then what's the c? All right. For the first part, I want to find the vertex and determine whether it is a max or a min. All right, so you're telling me it's a min, good, because it is positive, so we have a happy face. So yes, it is a min.
Oh, because of the A. I was looking at the C.
Yeah, me too.
Sis.
Yes, that is referring to the C because it's positive. Okay, so now to find the vertex. What formula do I use for the x? Very good. Negative b over 2a. What is negative b?
Negative 0.
Negative 0 and 2 times a. So 2 times 2. So yeah, so you get 0 over 4, which is just 0.
How does 0 over 4 equal? I believe y'all today.
Alright. So I found the x.
Now you gotta find Y.
Now I gotta find the y. So I know x is 0. Alright, so if I want to find the y, what number am I plugging into my function for x?
0, comma.
Yeah, 0. Because I know x is 0. So I'm going to plug 0 in for the x to get the y. So 2 Plug 0 in for x. So what does y equal? What's 0 squared? 0. What's 0 times 2? What's 0 minus 4? Negative 4. Alright, so I got my vertex is 0, negative 4, and it is also a minimum. So for the axis of symmetry, remember that is the same x value as in the vertex. So where's my axis of symmetry?
It's 0.
At 0. And the y-intercept is the c value. What's my c value?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So in this example, the y-intercept and the vertex happen to be the same point. It's not always going to work out that way. This is just one of those coincidences. All right, so the y-intercept and the vertex in this example happen to be the same, which is okay. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to graph it. I'm going to plot my vertex at 0, negative 4. Now to get those other 2 points, I'm going to use my a value, which is 2. And that's going to be the number kind of like slope. So from your vertex, you're going to go up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Remember, those are the only 3 points you can plot. And then draw your graph.
And it's supposed to be more of a U, right?
Yes, it's a U. That's why we only can plot these 3. All right, so just a U. Because once you go farther, the 2 is no longer the slope. So just plot those 3. Yeah, so if you wanted to get more points, you would just have to plug in numbers. So you'd have to plug in 2 to get the next one and 3 to get the next point. Okay, domain. How far left am I going? Negative infinity. How far right? Positive infinity. For the range, how far down? Negative 4. Remember, down, it has to come first. So down, and then how far up?
Is it a bracket?
It is a bracket, yes.
Time.
Bracket because it's a point.
What's the point?
Calm down.
What happened? You used to be like slow.
She said, when did y'all learn this? My God.
Good night.
All right, let's do example number 2. I'm going to start calling on people.
Can you not?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God. Your nails are.
You like them?
Yes. That's the goal right there. Look at my nails. Going.
Subscribers.
All right. Faith, tell me my A,
Okay.
my B, and my C. It's an easy question. Come on. A, B, and C. What is it?
My A is negative 1.
Uh-huh.
My B is 4.
Okay.
And then my C is 2.
Very good. All right. Let's see. Gip, tell me, do I have a maximum or a minimum? A maximum, good, because my A is negative, so I have a sad face, which gives me a max.
That's so sad. Like, they're not at the max.
What?
When you're sad, you're not at your max.
But they. Okay.
All right. So, let's see. Who wants to help me find the X? 8. Who's 8? Emery, you're 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, you're supposed to be 8. So, what formula helps me find the maximum, Emery? Just the formula from the top right of your paper. Negative B over 2A. All right, so Emery, tell me, what's negative B? Uh-huh, and then what's my A? Negative 1. Okay, what is 2 times negative 1? And what's negative 4 divided by negative 2? 2, good. All right, so for the Y, Caitlin, what number am I plugging in for the X? The 2, because X equals 2. So negative 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 2. All right, now here's the deal. I'll probably let you use a calculator on this, on the test, but I need to see the work. If you don't show work, I'm not going to be able to give you credit. All right? But some people are getting a little tripped up because you can just find the vertex in the calculator instead of doing it this way. That being said, though, on the TSI or on the ACT, and when you have those non-calculator parts on those tests, they'll expect you to do this without a calculator. All right? So they expect you to know how to multiply and add and subtract with negatives and exponents and all of that good stuff, especially if the numbers don't get that big. All right, so just keep that in mind, especially if you're one of those people that want to do really good on the ACT and raise your score, or if you're thinking about taking AP Stats or AP Calculus, like you need to be able to do that without a calculator. So, exponents first. What is 2 squared?
4.
All right, so negative 4 plus, what's 4 times 2?
8.
8 plus 2. So 8 plus 2 is 10 minus 4?
6.
6. See, not that hard.
So we got 2 6.
So 2, 6 is my vertex.
Yes.
Wait. I might have missed something, but how do you plug in the number for the y?
I plug in this x value in here. Don't forget your negative sign. That might be it.
I'm scared. What if I fail? How many calories in it?
Are you kidding me, Faith?
All right, so focus back up here. Axis of symmetry. Don't answer unless you're Leslie. What's the axis of symmetry? Say it again. Two. Good. It's always going to be the same number as the x value in your vertex. So axis of symmetry is at 2. And Evelyn, where's my y-intercept at? 2. So your y-intercept is at 0, 2. So on this example, your y-intercept and your vertex are at different spots. So let's go ahead and graph this. I'm going to plot my vertex here at 2, 6. And then what's my a value again?
2. I mean, -1.
-1. So from your vertex, I'm going to go down 1 over 1.
What?
Down 1 over 1. Because my a value is -1. So from my vertex, I went down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. And then if you want to, you can also plot your y-intercept. That's here at 2. And you just got to connect the dots. You can kind of see the U shape that's forming. How did I get what? It's always the C value. Angie, go have a seat. Faith, put your phone away. Evelyn, put your phone away.
Faith wasn't on her phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Leslie, put your phone away.
My phone won't turn off.
All right, the domain. -infinity to infinity. Your domain is going to be the same on all these U's. For the range, how far down are you going? How far up?
2.
6. Make sure when you're doing range, down, then up.
Are we doing the back too?
Yes, we are doing the back.
Practice?
Huh?
Do we have a practice?
Yes, you do.
Do we have to practice?
Huh?
Do we have to practice?
Yes.
Is it a grade?
Could be. All right. Let's see. Who have I not called on? Brianna, tell me my A, my B, and my C on this next one.
Your A is 3.
Uh-huh.
Your B is 12.
Okay.
And your C is 8.
Very good.
Whoa.
Asalia. Looking at the A value, do I have a maximum or a minimum? A minimum. Very good, because A is positive. So I have a happy face parabola. So it is a minimum. So down here where it asks, you can put minimum.
I have a question.
What's up?
Will we have this formula somewhere, or do we have to remember this?
By the test, you should have it memorized.
Oh,
It's just x squared.
no, not that formula. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
All right. Focus back up here. Andrew. What's the formula I use to find the x? Over. Very good. Okay, Andrew. What is negative b? Negative 12. And what's my a? 3. Okay, Briseda. What's 2 times 3? 6. What's negative 12 divided by 6? Negative 2. Shh. Okay, now I need to find the y. So, Jasmine, what number am I plugging in for x? Negative 2. Very good. Make sure you're using parentheses. And you're putting it around the negative 2. So, yes. Ariana, what's negative 2 squared? 4. Okay. Make sure you do the exponents first. Now, Ariana, 3 times 4? Plus 12 times negative 2? Plus 8. Okay, and then 12 minus 24 plus 8 is negative 4. Which means my vertex is at, Haley, what? Where's your vertex at?
I know.
Shh. That's okay. Haley, you can answer this next one. So yes, your vertex is at negative 2 and negative 4. Alright, Haley, where's my axis of symmetry? X equals negative 2. And then Kiadra, where's my y-intercept? It's at 8. Very good.
Wait, how do you know it's at 8?
We're pros.
C value.
C value.
Yes.
The C value is always the y-intercept.
Alright, so now I'm going to graph all of this stuff. So I'm going to graph my vertex first. It's at negative 2, negative 4. My a value is going to tell me those next 2 points. Only the next 2. What's my a value? 3. So from here, I'm going to go up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. And if you wanted to plot another one, what's the y-intercept? 8. So if you wanted to come all the way up here and plot 8, you could. So you have a really skinny U.
Skinny queen.
Which makes sense because it's being stretched. For the domain, what is it?
Negative infinity, comma infinity.
Very good. And the range?
Brackets, negative 2, comma.
Negative 2. Oh, it's negative 4.
Oh, so sorry, I graphed wrong. Negative 4, comma infinity.
Yes. All right. So domain negative infinity to infinity, range negative 4 to infinity. All right. Drop down to this last part here.
Please don't judge me.
All right. I promise this last part's really not that bad. We've done all the hard stuff.
Oh, God.
Now we are converting from vertex to standard. The benefit of this, if you're taking a multiple choice test and your answer is in vertex, but the multiple choice answers are in standard, you have to get your answer into standard form.
Oh, I hate
right?
that.
It's the same function, just written 2 different ways. All right, so we're just going to mess with this guy and get it into standard form. You're going to mess with him.
Let's jump.
All right. Right now, I have y equals negative 3 in parentheses x minus 2 squared plus 5. And I want to multiply all this stuff out, combine all my like terms, and get it into standard. Because of your order of operations, you have to do the exponent first. So I have this box here if you want to do the box method. I will also kind of show you how you can do it in your head, for those of you that like to do it in your head. But you don't have to do it that way. You can write it out.
What the heck is a
Who
bomb?
left it?
All right, and if you like to FOIL, that's fine. You can write it out and FOIL it too. So I have to take care of the exponent first. That's what's important. So I'm going to put x minus 2 right here and x minus 2 right here. Because essentially what this is saying, let's see if I can write it down. That is saying x minus 2 times x minus 2. Does that make sense? Right, so x minus 2 squared is x minus 2 times x minus 2. So you can either write it out and you can FOIL it. Right, you can write it out and FOIL it. Or you can do the box method, which is why I have the boxes there. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 2. X times negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2.
4.
Positive 4. Alright, if you did this correctly, these guys should be able to be combined and you can add them up. So when you write your formula again, I have not done anything to the negative 3. I've not done anything to the negative 3. X minus 2 squared is x squared. When you combine these, you get minus 4x and then plus 4. And I still have the plus 5 on the outside.
Uh-oh, this is no bueno on the piece.
Does that make sense?
Babe, can I rant to you?
Yeah.
So,
Right here, right now, recording.
Yeah,
So
recorded.
and so said
is
this,
that
so
the
said
final
that.
answer?
No, not
So
yet.
and so goes and watches.
I was just making sure.
Alright, so we're not done yet though. It's still not in standard form. Now I need to distribute the 3. Negative 3x squared plus 12x
And then 12.
Minus, minus 12.
minus 12
Plus 5.
plus 5.
So the end would be negative
Like
3x squared plus 12x minus 7.
Very good. So combine like terms at the very end. Now it's in standard form.
It's not funny games until we have to convert.
So if you graphed both of these guys in the calculator, you would get the exact same thing.
If you don't, you do something wrong.
Yep.
Why do you leave that? I don't like this.
Whoever made that board,
They combined them.
whoever cleaned that board, they did it really well. Whoever cleaned that board.
All right.
Where did he clean that board? Without being
I don't know who cleaned my chalkboards. I'm really appreciative though.
Then the next one would be X.
I wonder if they cleaned the whole board. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's stuff under there.
All right. So Faith, go sit down. If I want you to try this number 7. If you're one of those people that are like you want to know the shortcut, the how to do it in your head way, then focus up here for a second. But if you don't, just ignore me. All right. So just ignore me if you're not a shortcut kind of person, which is totally fine.
What the heck? Yes.
All right. There is a way that you can do x plus 3 squared in your head pretty easily. So most people, when they see this, they want to square the first and the last, right? And that's still part of it, but you always forget about the middle. So what the middle is x times 3 times 2. So x times 3 is what?
3x
Times 2 is,
plus 6.
So do you do times 2?
so this is what x plus 3 squared is.
Oh my god, thank you so much. Yes.
All right, so let me show you over here with this one that we already did. All right, x minus 2. So x squared is x squared. What's negative 2 squared?
4.
Plus 4. X times negative 2
Negative 2x.
times 2.
Negative 4. Oh my god, I love
So
this.
why do
Thank
you do
you.
times 2? Because those.
It's just the shortcut.
Because there's going to be 2 of them.
Okay.
There's always going to be 2 of them.
Bad. That's easy.
I understand the X squared.
I wish
plus
we,
the negative 40.
So there's always going to be the 2 terms here in the middle. And that's why you're multiplying it by 2. So you do x times negative 2 times 2. Because there's going to be 2 of them.
We're going to
I'm good with the box.
You don't have to do it that way. If you like the box, do the box.
I learned multiplication off the lattice grid.
And everybody can roast that.
Let me just do it one more time for those of you that want to know.
If you ain't got it by now, you never gonna do them.
All right.
I learned.
So last time I'm going to try it the shortcut way, and then we're going to finish out the other one.
What?
The first one squared.
I never learned about it.
If you don't know how to, if you don't want to know, that's fine. But quit talking for those people that are trying to learn.
Which question you on?
I'm just making one up to show you the shortcut way one more time. All right. First one squared is x squared. Last guy squared,
25.
25. X times 5
5x.
times 2.
10x. This is great. I love this. Thank you so very much.
That will only work for something that's squared, though.
Yes.
Okay.
What about cubed?
Oh, I get that.
Cubed is a whole
X
formula.
cubed,
We'll
and then-
get
And then
I'll talk about it.
5 cubed, and then like multiply the whole thing times 3, and then divide by 3.
All right, so on number 7. Hopefully you are at this point here.
Oh, shoot, we were supposed to do that.
Wait. Oh, I thought I had it right. I'm not.
And then we are going to multiply the 2.
So that'd be x squared plus 6x.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I'm a pro. I did it in my head. Okay.
Why is it plus 6x?
Because you multiply 3x times 2.
So x squared, right?
Yeah.
3x, 9.
Yeah.
Inside, you're adding because we're combining like terms.
Oh, I thought you were multiplying them.
Add them.
I love this so much.
All right, and then combine these last terms here. 2x squared
Plus 14.
plus 12x plus 14.
I was off by 1 number.
That's not that bad.
Yay.
All right.
Why is there a
14,
square
not
3?
4.
I mean, a cube 3.
What?
What?
4.
No, that's part of my box.
I thought it was plus 14.
Oh, it is.
Oh, don't do that, Miss.
Sorry, I forgot my line.
He's like, I'm wrong with the egg. I can't do baby math.
Okay.
Are you still recording? Poor
I am.
Poor baby.
26 minutes. All right, number 9. Almost done. This is the last one. I'm going to skip number 8 because just the numbers are really big. But I'm going to do number 9.
Thank you.
All right. On number 9, all we're doing is we're going from standard to vertex, which is kind of like what we've been doing for the rest of the paper. I need to figure out what the vertex is. So what formula helps me get the x value?
X, b, negative b over 2a.
Negative b over 2a. So what is negative b? Negative 12 over 2. What's my a?
Oh.
Negative 3.
Negative 3. So then I get negative 12 over negative 6, which reduces to 2. So I know that 2 is my x value.
Yeah.
So when I find... Uh-huh. So plug in x. So I'm going to plug 2 in here. Plus 12. 2 plus 5. And so then I get negative 12 plus 24 plus 5, which equals 17. So I have my vertex now. Remind me again, what was my a value?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. There's that guy right there. All right, this guy right here. And so now I have my a, I have my vertex, so now I can write it in vertex form.
So you got negative 3.
Uh-huh.
Then x plus.
Uh-huh, minus. Don't forget, inside's you got to switch.
Oh, yeah. Minus 2. Plus 17.
Mm-hmm. And then don't forget the square too.
Square. Alright.
So y equals negative 17.